I mean, look, let's be honest. Can we really say that Michael Kors is luxury? Is it really? Can we really say that? Hi everyone, welcome to another video. I had a very interesting email from one of you, Natia. And Natia has said, I've been pondering a style dilemma and thought you'd be the perfect person to ask. I was wondering if you might consider making a video on this topic. I think many of your viewers would find this very relatable. I was wondering, what are your thoughts on Kate Spade bags? Do you consider them to fall into the luxury category, or do you see them as being more accessible? On a related note, if you were to make a video on this topic, would you share your insights on lower end luxury brands targeting those that are more accessible to the everyday person? Brands like Kate Spade, Michael Kors, Ted Baker, Furler, Ralph Lauren, Diane von Furstenberg, these all come to mind. I'd love to hear your general take on these brands, whether you see them as a viable luxury alternative, or if I would personally consider buying one. And I thought it was such an interesting topic because I think I did a video similar to this, I think a year ago, maybe a bit more. But I've spoken before about how I think where these types of brands sit in the hierarchy of things is different based on who you ask. I think everyone has got a different viewpoint on this and everyone sees it in a different way, and how I see it might not be how you see it, and that is fine. And I would love it if you could please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this topic, because these are a lot more attainable and these brands are a lot more relatable to a lot more people. They might not be the brand that you aspire to own. Like, you might aspire to own something from Chanel, but you know you're never going to want to go and spend 8k plus. Who would? There's better things to spend 8k on. You might always aspire to that, but you might know, do you know what? I'm never going to go and do it. Yes, I would like one, but I'm never going to go and do it. But I'm going to go and buy an Aspinall of London bag, let's say, that's in a similar style to the classic flap. And that's going to make me happy, and I'm going to save a fortune. So what do I think of Kate Spade? I very much like Kate Spade. I see it as on the boundary of contemporary luxury and high street, high-end high street. I see it just on that kind of cusp of those two. I have got a couple of laptop bags. One is Senrev, which is another really good contemporary brand, and the other is Kate Spade. I've reviewed Kate Spade before. I think the bags from that brand are excellent. What I also like about Kate Spade is that if you want something that's kind of like possibly a trend, normally you can get it from Kate Spade, and it hasn't cost you so much that when the trend dies, if it dies, that you're too upset about being left with a bag that looks really dated. I've done this before. I have got a couple of expensive designer bags that I don't use because they just look dated and they're hard to work in with a look. Like, for example, I've got a Dior Gaucho bag. I love that bag. It's actually brand new. I haven't actually used that bag. But even David said to me the other day, because I took it out of the cupboard, and David was like, oh my gosh, that bag looks so dated now. And it really does, in a way that makes it borderline unwearable. Whereas if I bought that from Kate Spade and spent £200 on it, I wouldn't care. But I've got something from Dior that's very beautiful, but it's very dated. Not really wearable. So Kate Spade, love it. I love all of these brands, but I don't see them as being high-end luxury. To me, high-end luxury is Hermes, it's Chanel, it's Dior, it's Fendi, it's Gucci. They are kind of at the top of the pyramid of luxury as I see it. And I also think that the price of a brand plays a part in whether it's luxury. For example, if you took Coach, for example, if a Coach bag cost £2,000, would that suddenly elevate it into luxury? Maybe it would. If you take Saint Laurent, if you go back 5 years, Saint Laurent was a brand that you could get 10% off if you used a coupon code on the likes of Farfetch. It was fantastic. It was a great time. You could buy Saint Laurent bags, know you'd saved a bit of money. They weren't too expensive either. Then they pulled out of coupon codes and they put their prices up. Now, I don't know about to you, but to me, it changed how I viewed the brand. Before, I viewed it as a very high-end heritage brand, but one that I could always get for a discount. Same with Givenchy. Givenchy, they pulled out of that as well. No more discounts on Givenchy. But now, both of those brands, I see them as being more luxury. Not as luxury as Chanel though, or Dior, or any of those. I see them as sitting slightly below, but still in that luxury space. If I think about Michael Kors, can we really call Michael Kors luxury? It depends on who you ask. So some people would say yes, other people might say no. Other people might say, it's kind of like somewhere in the middle of luxury because it has got that heritage name to it. Their stuff is pretty well made. When I have seen Michael Kors, I don't like the quality of their leather. And that's why I've never bought from them. But it's not to say I have a problem with the brand. I actually tell you what I love from Michael Kors. I love their ready-to-wear. Michael Kors ready-to-wear and footwear, I just absolutely love it. I've got a pair of Michael Kors ankle boots that I must have bought in 2011 and I still wear them now and they are so cute. They're suede, really good quality, but the bags, for me, not so. And again, if you take a brand like Ted Baker, I don't see Ted Baker as being luxury. I see it as high-end high street. I see Kate Spade as being slightly above Ted Baker. I see Coach as being above Kate Spade. Possibly on the same level, but I do see Coach as being a tier up. Coach is a brand that's been going since the 40s. I don't actually know why Coach isn't more expensive than it is. I'm glad it's not. But I don't know why, given that it's been going for so long, I don't know why it hasn't been propelled up there with the higher end brands that have, some of them have been going for like a lesser amount of time. I'm not sure how that hasn't happened. But Coach is a brand that I see as contemporary. They're very well made. You get loads for your money with Coach. You can go to Coach, spend £200 to £300 on a bag and get so much, and the quality is brilliant. A couple of other brands to consider. One is my particular favourite, and it's Aspinall of London. Aspinall of London, their prices have gone up in recent years, but they're still well under £1,000. Aspinall I see as being above a lot of these contemporary brands. I borderline see Aspinall as being above Michael Kors actually, just because of the quality and also the price. I think the higher the price, the more an item it becomes luxury. Definitely there is an element of that. Pricing has a big part to play. But do I think these brands are viable luxury options? Absolutely yes. Not everyone wants to go and spend thousands of pounds in these very big higher end brands. Not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone would do it. Not everyone can do it. A lot of people don't want to do it. But you can go and buy a really good bag from any of these more contemporary or high-end high street brands and walk out with a lot of change. And you've bought something that's potentially very classic, very long-term and very well made. So I do totally see these as all being very exceptional, very quality, not all of them, as I've said, but a lot of them are very good quality luxury alternatives. And if these are brands you're into, don't let anyone convince you otherwise. I'm into Coach, and for the most part, a lot of you embrace Coach, but I've had comments before saying, oh, what are you buying Coach for? It's rubbish. And I'm like, it's actually not though. In my humble opinion, Coach is not rubbish. It's a really good brand. Coach is actually a brand that my mum got me into a couple of years ago now. My mum is like a big collector of Coach, and she was the one that years ago was like, Sophie, you have to see this brand though, don't overlook it. And she was showing me the bags that she's got, and I was just, she's into Ralph Lauren as well, really into that brand. Just really, they're actually really good, and it took me to see them close up for me to be like, actually the design's really nice, the price is really good, and the quality is really good. So they are all my thoughts on these, and as I say, if you like them, you should go and buy them. I always say that. If there's something you like, doesn't matter what anyone thinks of that brand except you. If you like it, go and buy it. So they're my thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this just casual ramble chat. and I will see you in tomorrow's video.